Hello, everyone. Welcome to another day of meditation with me. As you may know, the cat's out of the bag and the secret's out. Yes, I channel energy, and I've kept it a secret. They're mad at me for doing that. I've kept it a secret for a long time because of just stuff I was in my head. And not anymore. And one thing that they do appreciate is the background that I have. I have my master's degree in science, in acupuncture, and I am a massage therapist practicing trauma, myofascial release taught by John Barnes. And so I have an extensive background in science and knowing the human body. And uh, it's not coincidence that they chose me to speak um, about what human beings can't see. It's not tangible, but I'm able to actually bridge that gap between the intangible and tangible through science. And yeah, so I'm able to bridge that gap between if I can put science into the metaphysical aspect of what can't be proven to be proven, then I would get more ears, right? And that's the whole point, to have more people recognize and wake up. And the word automaton came to me, and I looked it up. I looked it up like a nerd, and the definition. I wanted to get it right. Like, what the hell is automaton? Automaton is a machine or controlled mechanism designed to follow automatically to a predetermined sequence of operation or responds to an encoded instruction. How is that relevant to this, to our emotions, our actions? Because we already know that there's like 5 different brain frequencies that our body has, that our brain emits. Not all at once. We have gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta. As the lower it goes down, it's the lower, slower frequencies. These are the higher ones: gamma, beta. There's 3 different: high, mid, and low beta. Which this is normally at what we're states in. I want to go off on a tangent, but what I do want you to recognize is the beta, the delta and theta state. So when a child is when they're born and up to 6, their brain frequency patterns is only up to mixing. It goes from delta to theta and low consciousness. Okay, and later clinical research suggests that when a person's in a theta state, they're that's the super learning state, that they're highly suggestible at that state. They're influenced and they could be reprogrammed. And that's why hypnotherapists use this tactic to put their clients in a trance and like hypnotize them, because they're going into that theta state, that hypnotic trance state. So the reason why I'm saying this is because that's when the child, if they're operating at below consciousness, that theta and delta. So whatever the child looks at, he or she automatically, it's like a program. You have a complete slate, no programmed computer, right? Our brain, the person's body. And they automatically get these downloads by seeing how by experiencing, by seeing, by they're just looking at, and that's just automatically what they're told. The child has love, or says they're not good enough, you're stupid, all of that, just an automatic program, automatic download. How is that relevant? So to now is that, well, if you are already programmed by the age of 6, and we know that that's the suggested, that's where you're being programmed because of the brain frequencies that child's in, then you're already programmed. Then you are going to live your life from that subconscious program and act, be, and choose in a way where what was told to you, what you saw, if your mother had struggling issues, money doesn't grow on trees, and you've heard those sayings. It's already you're gonna act that way. If you want to know what your programs are, your life is the blueprint. So you have to take a look at what you're struggling with, and that's probably not you. That's your programs. So um, I want to end this with the word doubt. If you what is doubt? So doubt is, and this is, I wrote this down because they were channeling, so it's not me. Um, all doubt is an imagined thought that hasn't even happened, of you're using your imagination to conjure up something that hasn't even happened yet, a fear, or or I should say, and you wouldn't have this imagined thought, doubt, if it didn't come from somebody or something that happened to you. He said either you've had an experience of having you feel that doubt, or someone told you something that made you doubt yourself. Someone told, so you then adopted a belief system based upon what somebody else told you, and made you doubt, and then made you feel doubt. You get what I'm saying? So all self-doubt is just, that's why I say, we're all fucking automatrons. And not automatons, automatrons. And because we're operating from, what are the encoded instructions? The fucking encoded instructions is what we were programmed all the way up until we're 6 years old. What we see, it's like downloads. Oh, okay, this is how we're supposed to act. Oh, I'm not supposed to get this. Oh, and then we adopt what people tell us. We adopt the opinions of others as if they were us. And I just, those are the encoded instructions, and we are automatically acting from a predetermined outcome of a scenario. It's already predetermined. Because how is it predetermined? Because we're operating from an encoded and instructed way of being when we were a child. And yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to go into meditation, and and see what happens. So this is worth mentioning. As you see here, I'm taking like long, deep breaths, and in a minute, you're going to see me take a one big yawn. I when I'm doing this and I'm taking big breaths like that, the energy that I'm taking in, you see, I'm yawning. That's actually clearing the energy of any stuck energy that's within me. Those yawns, the coughs, the vomits. We are so pleased. The tears, don't mind the tears. She is just feeling the overwhelming joy we feel at this moment. Because, well, because. But for the simple fact of her heart, and when you follow your heart, you can't help but serve. You see, you can't help but not keep this inside. This information. When you listen to your heart, you can't keep it to yourself. That is the result. Not a bad result, right? You can't contain this. You must serve. That is why we say to her, you are focused on the I and here. Come back in here and go back to, how may I serve? What can I do? We're so pleased that more has awakened because of this. Yes, we saw, we felt, we were there. This is a time of awakening. And yes, if we're able to put science and utilize the tools of man that you have created in order to awaken you, then we must. We will utilize any and all things just as long as it is for the highest good of all. We never, and this is worth saying, we never force, and we will never push you into anything. If you
That is you. When you and we're not poking fun, maybe a little. When you try to rush something, push, that is not us. That is stemming from lack is not the word. Scarcity. It's far different than lack. Force versus power. We know what you think power. No. And this, we also would like to mention that Linda had kept this a secret for a long time because she had adopted this fallacy belief that someone receiving such gift had to look a certain way, be a certain way. She cannot possibly have anger. She had to fix that anger first and fix her. No, it does not matter.
I can tell you what the gist of the message that they wanted to convey was. I do remember them using me as an example to something about keeping this a secret because that's what it was. I wanted to wait, um, and I ended up being an automatron. I ended up like I ended up believing um, other people's opinions of me and what they said as who I was, and that was, oh, Linda's angry. Linda's too angry. She's so sensitive. And then I'm like, something's wrong with me. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. And then I just like adopted that. And I'm like, well, I can't possibly have these downloads and be, source energy can't possibly use me when I'm so angry. Oh my God, I have to not be angry and do this and do that. And, you know, that's why they sort of said, no. I mean, this whole fallacy of um, if you don't lose it, if you don't use it, you lose it. That is the dumbest thing ever. And I know that's gonna wreak havoc and like pop some heads. Like, oh, that's true. That's true to you because you're used to being that way. So of course you're gonna have things come across that you're not. That's gonna come true. But from what their aspect is, you don't lose it when you don't use it. Source always finds another avenue. So like for my case was if I in this case I would have been like I would have lost this ability to channel energy, right? Because I didn't use it. I knew I had it, but I didn't use it for a long time because I was trying to fix my anger, right? Which becomes more anger because what you resist persists. So more of that came, and I'm like, but yet I was having these insightful epiphanies and in my own meditation and in the privacy of my own home, me talking to Source and them talking to me, and um, that's all it was for a while, and I didn't lose it, you know. Um, Source wants to convey the message of they're always trying to find new ways to bring the message across or to like have you hear in a way where where you can hear it. You don't like take it away. You know what I mean? That's not you. That's your mother or father or whatever. It's not you. It's a program you. And for a long time, I just because I adopted being angry and I adopted this. and then I took it on as my own, what other people said about me, you know. Um, who was it? I was watching a video of William. No, who's a pretty much the whole message was you are what people say you are. And that's not reality. You allow them. That's just giving up your rights as a human being. Um, Partly what makes us humans, and is the ability to have free choice. Um, um, there was a one parable of in Greek mythology of Prometheus, who was a Greek god. He he was known for giving the gift of humans the gift of spark. The Greek gods got mad at Prometheus for giving humans such a gift because Prometheus stole it, stole it from the gods, and gave it as a gift to humans. And in my meditation, I remember channeling Prometheus, and that's what made me look up who he was and stuff. Now, this is a mythology, so what came to me was, I mean, this is not what happened. This is like I wasn't him. However, they'll use anything and everything as a way to get their message across if they know that you can resonate with. So, what better way for me to get the understanding of what they want to tell me from mythology, Greek mythology, because they send me things in pictures, and I get the feeling through pictures of being that person. So in this case, Prometheus, I was Prometheus, and um, what I read later was that it said that we humans are stronger than the gods. And I was like, I had just recorded and said that we are gods, so how are we like? I don't know. I was just like, I don't know about that one, but I'm open. I'm open. And then later, I finally realized, that what they meant was, they were in that parable. The gods were. They said they were more powerful than the gods were the ego, the thoughts that we think to ourselves about ourselves, and our beliefs. So in this case, in this aspect, I was like, oh, okay, now I'm getting it. So and it's funny because they also use the word power, because I remember power versus force. So in this case, power, the gods, are our egos, our limited beliefs, our programmed beliefs. That is power slash God. We said we are more powerful, we humans are more powerful than the gods. We are more powerful than the power, which is that power is force, because it is our own. We are more powerful than our own egos, than our limited beliefs. We are more powerful than what we say to ourselves about ourselves. because we have one thing, and that is the spark. They said you have, and that spark is the freedom of possibility, the possibility of choosing something different. Now, when I didn't take this, but I was in meditation in the, is this still going? Okay. And when I was in meditation yesterday, they had said, you're Prometheus. And I was like, Prometheus gives the spark. And I was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to, and this is me thinking, oh my God, this is supposed to give this, I know what I'm supposed to do. Like it's already, I'm supposed to give these people the spark. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to give this spark? My God, my goodness. Then I realized, then it came to me. Then, and at the end of the day, messages, and I get what I'm supposed to do. So at first, I don't normally always get it. I get parts of it, and I get jump the gun sometimes. But then I was thinking, oh my God, I'm supposed to like, and this, I was writing this down. I was like, the spark. I'm like, what am I supposed to give like the universe the spark? And then as I was writing, I was continuing to write. It said, I'm supposed to give them the spark, and how I do that and how I show up giving them the spark is by giving them love, by forgiving, by using my imagination, by using my creative ways of being and thinking. Why? Because the best teacher is one who shows by example. To know and not to do is not to know. I can't just say it, I have to be it. So, what better way of showing somebody different options, right? Because the spark, how are you going to show someone that spark if that spark is all of what I said? The spark is imagination. The spark is the freedom of choice. The spark is the gift of spark from Prometheus is what? The freedom of choice, the freedom of possibilities. That's expansion. That's power. There is no end. Possibilities are endless. What better way to show someone that spark, that possibility, than by showing them that there is another possibility way of being. So if you're dealing with somebody who's rude or attitude, anything mad, mean, unforgiving, just what better way to show someone that spark of possibility than being another way, than being that possibility, by being another way, by being another possibility. That is one of my many things that I can do, and you can do. You can give the message. So the message is one, they want you to know, use your gifts now. Do not wait like I did. And if you wait, that's fine too, because you're not ready yet. And you need to cultivate, like, there's certain things we come on this earth to, I'm not going to go into it, but it's another time. But you come into this for a specific purpose, but not for that purpose. But we came here, we each chose to come here for having a certain experience. Why? Because it is in that certain experience that we cultivate and we refine this certain skill set for this, right? So say with me, I had to have injustice. I had to have all these things, these negative things happen to me so that I could have this insatiable desire for self-fulfillment. And then I sought self-fulfillment, And then now I can do this because I refined and I refined my skill set. It's a skill set. It's a learned skill set by repetitious and being tenacious at it. So we came here for a specific experience, to have a certain experience, to be able to cultivate a skill set. And it is in that skill set is we could then do our main goal, our purpose, our whatever we have to set to do. And in that process, if you veer off and you lose your way a little bit, that's fine. You're not going to lose it. You didn't miss it. Like, yeah, you didn't miss anything. And it's all perfect. You will use it all. It's all in the right time. But do not be afraid to make that step, and do not be afraid, like I did, by adopting other people's opinions about you so that you don't use it. I didn't use it for a long time because I adopted what other people's opinions about me as my truth. And they said, furthermore, that anger served a purpose. If you look at it, I'm writing a book on the four principles of acupuncture, yin and yang, and how it's applicable to the emotions. One of the theories is yin and yang is interdependent and it's mutually consumption. What that means is whatever we have the most of, it bears the seeds of its opposite. So in my case, if someone has a lot of anger, let's take it. Someone who has a lot of anger, that's a lot of energy. Someone has to be strong enough to actually sustain that type of energy and sustain that for a long period of time, right? That person has to be strong. That person has to be healthy, right? To sustain that. That's not a deficiency case. That's an excess case, right? So if that person has that much of the anger, that kind of energy, it has to bear seed. It has to bear seed of its opposite. And what is its opposite? Love. So once we can transmute that, right, and turn it into love, then that person has a lot of love, right? It's a lot better to have expressive emotions rather than keep it internal and inward and not express it, or can't be able to express. That's a deficiency case in acupuncture. Excess or deficient. Black, white. Night can't come without day. They're interdependent. They depend on each other. They bear seeds of the exact opposite, right? So when you look at it that way, oh wow, well then it's a way of looking at it. I have, I must have a lot of love to give because this is a lot of energy that I am feeling, and that of course I'm going to be more angry because I'm listening to people tell me I'm angry and I'm adopting that, right? Do you see the vicious cycle? Don't not use your gifts by believing what other people tell you you are. That's what I messed up. And that's okay, because it's if you can learn from my experience that you don't lose it, you lose it. If you don't use it, you don't. That's bullshit. You know, don't be afraid to use your gifts now. You are more than capable. You have more than enough power right now to start. And you didn't miss it. You are where you are, and everything is perfect. And I think that is, and when you use your power versus force, when you there's a book here that I read, Tao Te Ching, right? a story of a teacher, a wise teacher. Um, wise teacher knows his true self worth by giving and serving. Um, he gets his self worth, and he gets his self worth, and by serving, by giving. What that means is true alignment, true open, true expansion, true power is accomplished by giving. It benefits not you, but the whole. We are the whole. Force is thinking about the I. Force was, oh, I can't possibly share the message because I'm gonna look stupid. I'm gonna I. That's force. That's constricting. The force is anything that doesn't benefit anybody but you, and it harms you. It's a linear pathway. It's not expansive. So I can go on forever, but I'm gonna leave it at that, and because that was the message overall. Um, until next time.